I know that all of our mothers taught us, don't judge a book by its cover. And you know, all of our mothers taught us that. The truth of the matter is that our mothers all judged the book by the cover. And we still do that to some extent. Even when we're out and about today and we have a mask on, you still kind of look at people and make that judgment call. Is this someone I want to get near or talk to, or any of those type of opportunities? So in a business setting, well, let's take and say that we're in a business setting and we're all not wearing masks. It is really how we present ourselves before we get to speak that the person that we're going to work with actually makes a decision. Do I want to talk to them or do I want to listen? That in itself is something we need to have a little short discussion on. I know that many of us grew up in a time where, you know, dress for success was a big part of our bringing up into the corporate world or into any kind of the publication of being out with the public. And the dress for success has kind of gotten lost a little bit. But what I have found is, even when we're videotaping, I have found that dress for success is really still a big part of how people make that judgment of, do I want to listen or not? When I ran a big company back in the day, I posted a big full-length mirror on the door, by the door, whereas the exit door. And I just asked everybody to look at themselves to see if they would want to talk to themselves. And it was amazing to me how it changed how people reacted, how they spoke, how they dressed, all those different parts and pieces. And for men who, like me, maybe don't like to shine my cowboy boots, it really meant I really looked all over and said, am I ready to go? And the 30-second introduction is all about that. Am I ready to go? And having that ready to really lay down. The first thing that you really want to tell people is what your name is. And you're going to want to say it in a way as, hi, I'm Dick Powell. And let them know that you're a friendly person. That smile on your face really will send that your name means I am a friendly person, I'm approachable. Okay? The next part is tell them the name of your business. Earth, Wind, Fire, Water Training Development. All right, so what's the name of your business? And the name of your business needs to be, or I hope it is, that little bit of a catch thing that people say, well, what the heck is Earth, Wind, Fire, Water? You know, I mean, find something that says to them, they want to ask you a question. And that's the biggest part of this 30-second, is to encourage them to ask you more questions. Okay? So you got your name, you got the name of your business. Now the next part is probably, well, it's really important. It's what makes you unique. What makes you different? What are you doing? What's your business do? And again, you want to give them a little bit of information, but you're trying to encourage them to ask more questions. And so that question is, so when you wrote this down, you wrote down your 30 seconds and you practiced them. Did you practice it on somebody and did they ask you a question? Like, what the heck's that mean? But that's the important part. If you can get them to ask questions, you have won. You've like rung the bell. So you've got your name, got your company or business, you've got what makes you unique. Follow up with your name. Okay. The last part of this is a tagline. Now, many companies have taglines. Ours here, the Leadership Wranglers, ride hard, ride fast. We've used it for years. We have since changed our tagline here lately. And that is not a terrible thing for you to do. Depending on your audience, know where you're at. If you're at a chamber meeting and you're going around the group and there's 30 or 40 of you, the 30-second is a big piece to take and lay out, to let someone I want to go talk to them. I want to take and touch base with them. I want to take and share with them. And that's what it's about. So your 30-second can be expanded or contracted. And that's where this starts to take and put it into place. This 30 seconds is your time to make the grab. Now, the person you're talking to or you're meeting, they're going to do their own. Now, we have all been in meetings, I will lay you money, that someone has stood up and threw up. Anybody been there? They just went on and on and on. And what did your mind do? You know, most people don't mind going over about a minute, but once it gets past that, believe me, people start to just turn off, eyes glaze, and they've already made that decision. Well, they're boring, I'm not moving on. And you don't want to do that. You want to give them something to ask you a question about. And that's where it really becomes so important. I figure I'm kind of normal on that situation. After 2 or 3 minutes, I'm kind of like, well, that was enough. I'm not so sure I want to talk to this person. See, they turned you off instead of turned you on. And so, you know, be real important about enunciation. I have an 8-year-old granddaughter who we're working with enunciation, and she has her own program here on my video chat. The reason enunciation becomes so important is that you only have this 30 seconds or less. People's attention span used to be 3 to 7 minutes. It's not. Our adult attention span now is between 1 and 3. And that's because we're so used to being on the video where we can, you know, you got your mouse and you just popping back and forth, or you're at your TV doing what? Going through the channel changer. We're also almost impatient. And so the 30-second, I think, to me, is where I need to really work on this. I have a little template that I use, okay? And it's very simple. It's just a template that says 30-second introduction. It's got my name, company or business, what makes me unique, my name, and tagline. It's simple. It's not simple. It's finding out what words I can say that are enunciated correctly. So if you find words on your 30-second that maybe don't slip out of your mouth really good, change them. And that's why it's important to take 2 or 3 days. That's why it's important to take some time and really put some effort into it. I always tell people, have a long one, have a short one. Okay? Because if you can catch their mind a little bit and they want to talk to you later, they're going to want to know more. And that's what we're there for. I'm going to be very honest with you because I'm not as sharp as I used to be. I use 3x5 cards. Now, because I am older, I keep several 3x5 cards in my top pocket, and even when I'm at church and I'm working with the kids, whatever I'm doing, I have those in my pocket. That's a wonderful way to listen to other people describe who you are and what you do. An opportunity might be for you is to sit and interview someone and ask them quite frankly, what do you think I do? How do I come off? Am I presenting myself in a way that makes you want to talk to me? Ask them those kind of questions, because that'll help you put together this 30-second opportunity. Now, I'm going to encourage you all to write this stuff down and put it on a 3x5 card or something. Believe it or not, I have mine on my screen over here. So as we're working from home, this becomes more and more important, especially our 30-second. I believe our 30 seconds are more important now than they ever have been. This is where, because really, if I want to get back to you, I'm going to get back to you in that little bit of a time. I'm going to take and jot down your name to get back to them, or I'm going to take and, make a note. So keeping something open so you're making notes is going to be very important. Also, how you present yourself. And we know in business that we know, like, and trust, correct? So building that trust in 30 seconds is pretty hard to do. I believe the reason the Leadership Wrangler has been so effective is that everybody loves cowboys. And, you know, and that's just a fact. So that trust value was built very quickly. So when they come into my office or here, you know, there's cowboy hats all up on the top, there's spurs hanging back, there's a lariat, and that's really who I am. Be who you really are, and don't try to be anybody that you're not. People see through that very quickly, and that's why the dress for success really starts to take on a different manner. If I stood up, you'd see my big belt buckle and cowboy boots and, you know, blue jeans. You know, I mean, I wear Wrangler pants because I'm sponsored by Wrangler jeans. I wear Wrangler shirts because I'm sponsored by Wrangler, you know, clothing company. Leadership Wrangler, what is your world and who you sponsored by? It really will make a difference. I'm a best-selling author. So sometimes in some worlds, I speak about being a best-selling author. Other times I'm talking about being a consultant. And other times I'm talking about my coaching practice. So that middle part can change. The top, your name, your business, doesn't. And the ending, your name and your tagline, well, probably won't change either. You know, and if you think you don't really want, you know, your tagline doesn't seem to be catching people, they don't remember it when you stand up and they don't automatically say it back to you, try something new. Get something else that they're going to remember. Tagline face, tagline name. Mm-hmm. Most of our world is nonverbal, whether we want to kind of admit that or not. And our nonverbal things, that's why I always tell you how you're presenting yourself. You know, what are you saying before you get to speak? Because that nonverbal piece means a lot. When you're out and about, you know, do you have your business card with you? When you're out and about, do you have a pencil or a pen or a couple of them and maybe something to write on? When you're out and about, are you prepared? Now, when someone's giving you their 30 second, I want to encourage you to do two things. One, listen intently. And then if something catches your ear, okay, ask for their card and write that what's on your ear. If you're in a large setting like a BNI, write it down on the pad. What do you want to talk to them about? What caught your ear? Okay. Now, if you've read any of my books, you know I'm just an old storyteller. So catching the ear is important. That's after you catch their eye. Got to catch their eye, you've got to catch their ear. That's what our 30 second is all about. When we're at a networking meeting, we're not there to sell to the people in the networking meeting. We're there to take and train them to be our salespeople. Okay, we're training them to go out and when they're out and about, listen for people that need what I do. That's what networking is. Tell them what you do, be right on point, move on, and hope they ask questions. And if they do, that opens a thing. But even then, you need to know that they need to tell their side, and that's when you need to listen intently. Now, when they're telling their side, great listening by great leaders all take notes. Okay. Now, taking notes when you're listening to someone here's what it tells the other person. You care enough about them and what they're saying to take a few notes. You're saying to them, I care enough about you because I want to make sure I understand what you're saying. And that intentional listening goes along with your 30-second commercial or your 30-second grab. We are all leaders. Everyone is always watching us. Whether you lead well or you maybe don't lead so well, there's always going to be someone there who is going to make a judgment call on you. And when we're selling things, they're not really buying what we have to sell. They buy us first. And that's why this whole thing of presentation becomes so important. What's the story you want to tell in 30 seconds? Do something what makes you unique as a performer and person. Everyone needs a shtick. Okay. I'm a leadership wrangler. I have a big cowboy hat, all the rest of it, cowboy boots and stuff. What's your shtick? Think about what makes you different, what makes you unique, what can you actually have a visual interesting, what can you show? That goes along with your tagline. That makes a memorable memory. Building relationships is all about building memory. I appreciate the time and appreciate the effort y'all put in. And again, you can call me if you struggle with any of this stuff. Just give me a call, 727-422-1833. Just know that who you are and what you do is important. Have enthusiasm for who and what you are and how you do it. Be excited for being unique, and the rest will take care of itself.